So when companies think about how they measure innovation and their performance on innovation, what I tend to find is that they tend to measure either the inputs or they tend to measure the outputs. So the inputs into innovation are, for instance, how much money did you spend on R&D, how many projects you had, how many people you had. It's really all of the ingredients that go into innovation. And we also tend to sometimes measure the outputs. And the outputs are the most common ones that I hear about sometimes are how many patents did you file, what was the intellectual property output of the innovation, or what percentage of your sales come from new products that were launched in the past few years. So it's really product sales, product success, and so on. So I think both these are important, but we also, what I suggest to people is that they need to think about throughput metrics also. So throughput metrics really relate to how the innovation pipeline is being managed and how well is the process of innovation working, which comes between the input and the output. So for example, if we think about the pipeline of innovation, we could measure the velocity of the pipeline, which is how fast our idea is moving along the pipe. We could think about the balance of the ideas. Are they incremental versus radical, and so on. And of course we could think about the quantity, so which is how many ideas are flowing through the pipe. So throughput metrics really focus us on the important notion that innovation is not simply an input-output that we need to think. It's a process that needs to be managed, and we really need to get more granular about looking at throughput metrics, which tell us about what's happening in this process, as opposed to just looking at the input and output, which would blind us to the fact that there are steps in the process, and each of these steps need to be managed and improved in order for us to be able to guarantee the outputs. One of the other benefits of thinking about throughput metrics is the fact that there's a long delay between the input and the output. And if we just wait for the outputs, it may be waiting too long, and we may need to take corrective steps in the middle. So by taking a combination of input, output, and throughput metrics, we can think a little bit more systematically about the metrics for innovation.